What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today we have the beta event kits revealed, a little bit more information about Gen Con, and two new cards to go over. So, with that being said, let's not waste that much time and get straight into it. Starting off with the Kickstarter update number 55. Start off with some information about Gen Con Indianapolis. Just a little bit more specifics from July 30th to August 2nd. Same as Anime Expo, they'll be running demo sessions, giving out the Nova Rare Rebecca Having a Moment promo card to the people who take part, and just kind of showcasing the Cyberpunk TCG all weekend long and trying to get some more teams involved, as well as just being a very nice way for the community to kind of come together, have some fun, and yeah, just all that jazz. Not going to go too much into that right now because the main event for today's video is the Cyberpunk TCG beta event kits are revealed now. So we got a little bit more information about that and just, I guess, technically organized play in general, but this is really just over like one event out of, I don't even know, because there's also the retail ones. We don't know if it's going to be the same, if it's just going to be without the beta symbol or logo on the cards. And then obviously there's actual organized play that I'm sure we will find out a little bit more in the future. Of course, there's the store locator as well, which you can use to find stores near you that are signed up for Cyberpunk TCG's organized play. And then this doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be running the beta events. So I would implore you to call them up, shoot them an email, preferably call them because it's definitely a lot easier on you and them, and just be like, hey, are you running the Cyberpunk TCG beta events? I'm interested. And they can be like, oh, nah, sorry, but I might know another store that's running them, or I don't know, just say no or whatever. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask, and it's a lot better than just kind of waiting around on the days of the events and then possibly even missing out. And it's just a lot easier to know earlier in advance so you can make more plans about it, kind of schedule, because maybe they already have the day when they're going to do it and a time slot. So it's just a lot easier to kind of have the know how earlier, and then maybe if they got the kits on their website for like pre-purchase or whatever, to just have a bit more info so that you can make sure that you got a spot in the events. So, just moving a little bit on, there's also the episode 18 of the official Cyberdeck podcast. And my notes from it on that is, first off, if you're going to Gen Con, there are no more available Gen Con slots to demo the game. They have said that they will take some walk ins or just walk ons, preference going to Weird Crew members, but as usual, nothing is guaranteed if you don't have a slot that you signed up for. So hopefully, if you haven't, you get a little lucky there. And if not, then I know there are just a lot of other tombs there that'll be able to hang out with for you. And then I know a couple other content creators are doing something there. The specifics I don't exactly have, but I know King Fen is doing something. I don't have the particulars because I'm not King Fen and I haven't exactly sat down and talked with him about it for like hours or whatever. So, but they're doing something. I know a lot of other, yeah, like I said, a lot of others are going to be there as well. So just a lot to kind of get into, even if you're not signed up for the demo specifically, if you're going to Gen Con. Other notes is that they showed off, or Kawa showed off three rares on the podcast, being Meredith Stout, Placide, and Jackie. Not the Legend Jackie. There were no new cards revealed on the podcast, but the unit one, I forget the subname right now, but the yellow unit that was an absolute monstrosity with the alpha kits. They are all foiled, as are all the rares going to be, which is what Kawa said. So it's a little bit nice to see the foiling as well. And just the cards, more cards in person. Well, technically not in person because it was over video, but it's a lot better than just looking at the image on the website, at least in my opinion. They also mentioned as well, like I said earlier, to check if your LGS is doing beta events. because not all of them on the website are. So definitely, again, make a note of doing that for sure. And then there are also going to be exclusive reveals to Gen Con along with on the podcast, similar to Anime Expo's weekend. So definitely a weekend to look out for social media wise, because I mean it's not official yet, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be another secret rare revealed. Can't say 100%, won't promise you that, but I mean they did one over AX as well as a couple other cards. Won't be as much because there's not the demo decks being newly released, but there should be at least a handful of reveals that I will be looking forward to. And as usual, I will keep you updated with that. And then there should also be a midweek article this week before Gen Con about future card reveals, where you can expect them, because a lot, well, I won't say a lot, but some other members like Burza and Kawa being he, noted that some other content creators had some cards to reveal. So just a little bit more information about that as well should be coming out with the article later on, which I will be covering as well as I do with most updates here, because that is the role I've assigned myself. And then there's also the Bonnie and Clyde card revealed here in the update. I'll be getting onto that later, along with another one that should be pretty interesting. And then as for the community spotlight, there is Rare Totems video Afterlife Card Club episode 2 with Gearbox Royce deck versus Turbo Placide. It was pretty good gameplay. Honestly, it's just nice to see any gameplay at this stage, just to kind of get a little bit more feelers out, get a little more field testing that you can kind of note down, think, oh, hey, this combo worked. I really like this. And just a lot of stuff like that. It's always really fun to see gameplay, at least for me. And this is no exception. So if you like that type of content, definitely a good video to watch for that. Moving on to the dev blog now, this one focusing more about the Cyberpunk TCG beta event kits and a bit of a guide to it as well, going over kind of what's in it. Um, Obviously, it starts off with a bit of formalities. What is a Cyberpunk TCG beta event kit? It's pretty much just like a pre-release for Magic the Gathering, which is the most prominent example that I could use. It is six, or at least I guess it goes further into it in the next section, but what's in a Cyberpunk TCG beta event kit, there are going to be 6 Welcome to Night City beta booster packs, 3 additional random legend cards to help out with that construction from a pool of legends, that being 10, that is noted later on in the article that we'll get to, a beta kit Mantis Blades promo card, which they have an image of a little further down as well, and then a full set of Cyberpunk TCG polyhedral dice. And then, as it notes, the D4, the D6, the D8, the D10, the D12, and the D20, all in this one little box here. They don't denote the price for the box, so that is a little bit something to keep an eye out in the future. But at least personally, I'd imagine it'll be about 30-ish, somewhere around that range. Maybe like $10, like a $10 range from 30. But obviously, I'm not on the team. I don't exactly have the behind the walls details, so, or the behind the curtain details rather. So I can't tell you 100% like most of this, just except for what is on the screen. And then this is the Mantis Blades promo card, as you can tell by the beta symbol right under the RAM cost. And this kind of brings into question what the retail event kits are going to look like, because obviously it's not going to be the beta event kits. So it'll be a little interesting to see if that beta symbol gets replaced and if it just has like an R instead, because we haven't really seen like an R on the retail cards. So it'll be interesting to see like the differences there. Obviously, mainly just going to be cosmetic. You're going to get the same experience whether it's the beta event or the retail event. Just the cards are going to be a little bit different cosmetically, but it all should still be the same. At least that's just my assumption, obviously. And gotta put that big asterisk around pretty much most of my videos, except for when I'm reading straight off the devlog or the Kickstarter updates. Where can I where and when, sorry, can I play in a Cyberpunk TCG beta event? So obviously the LGS is available through your store locator. However, you need to call to make sure they are running it for the third time now. Please do so. It is going to be a lot better for you and your LGS and just easier on the mind. So definitely do that. And then it also denotes that the beta events will run September 10th to 17th, not to 17th, sorry, and 17th, 2026, giving stores 2 weekends on which they can schedule their events. So at least seemingly, it seems to say that it'll be more store specific as to when they're doing it. I don't know if it's just going to be one on the day or like two on the day. How that's going to work, that's going to be pretty specific to you, or rather your LGSs, and just kind of that situation with you and how that's all going to play out. And then we get the legend pool, which I mentioned earlier. Which additional legend cards can I find in my beta kit? The supplemental legend pack in our beta event kits contain 3 of the following legend cards, and then it lists 10, 2 of them being red, 3 yellow, 3 green, and then 2 blue. So there is Adam Smasher, Enter of Legends, Royce, Psycho on the Edge, Dum Dum, Maelstrom Triggerman, River War, Detective on the Hunt, Rogue Amendiaras, Preem Solo, Goro Takamura, Vengeful Bodyguard, Jackie Wells, Mama's Favorite, Panem Palmer, Nomad Cavalry, Alt Cunningham, Soul Killer Architect, and then the newly released legend that we'll be getting into later in the video is Judy Alvarez, Braindance Maestro. So there were 3 that weren't revealed at the time of this article coming out. Now we only just don't know what Rogue and Jackie Wells Mama's favorites legends are going to be. So that'll be something interesting to look out as well. I believe I didn't write it down specifically, but I'm pretty sure that Kawa said that we should get those before the end of the month, or at least I think it was before the end of the month, but it might have been before Gen Con. But generally, I'd expect those 2 to be kind of soon reveals. Again, obviously, don't take me 100% on that. Go watch the Cyberdeck podcast so you can hear it for yourself. Take that information in your own way. Whether you take it a different way or understand it differently, perfectly acceptable. I'm not exactly a mind controller here. When will I be able to play Cyberpunk TCG again after the beta events? So after those 2 weekends, mainly you're gonna have to wait for a little bit, but you should have your cards, I think, a little bit before. I don't have the date written down here, but it should be around this time that you're getting your product, or at least wave 1 of the product is coming out. So that should be fun. Should have a lot to preoccupy you with there. Probably a lot of deck building going on. Some gameplay, I imagine, from content creators with the cards now in hand. So that should all be dandy and fun. Something to look forward to for sure. Should be just the start of an explosion of content and just good times and good tidings. Mainly, yeah, you'll have new cards as well, just with the event kits already. So, and then hopefully you'll be able to connect with some new Choom type your LGS during the events, and just have more of a community there that you can engage in and play, build decks, hang out, all that type of stuff. Having a lot of fun there. And then the next official thing, at least, should be the weekend of October 30th, when they'll be running the Welcome to Night City retail pre-release events. After that, they're just a week away from the full retail release and the start of weekly Night City Brawl events. More to come on that closer to the time. So obviously that's just a little bit of information that we'll be looking forward to further on. And then again, don't really know what the official pre-release events or the event kits are going to look like. I imagine it'll be pretty similar, just without the beta symbol stamped on, sorry, to clarify that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see sometime in the near future, I'd imagine. And then can't wait to play. Come and see us at Gen Con. Again, can't really sign up for demo sessions now, they're all booked. But there should be at least some chooms there that are willing to share some demo decks with you to play around with. And then maybe you can get a walk-on spot as well. And that is pretty much it for the updates for today. So if you just want the down and dirty news, then that is it for you. And I thank you for watching this far. But if you are still here or still. Nah, sorry, that just. I got a little turned around there. But if you want to hear my thoughts on the two new revealed cards, we have that coming up right after. Well, right now, specifically, not right after. So I'm just going to stop talking and just get straight into the first one, which we saw just earlier with the Kickstarter update, being Bonnie and Clyde. Which, if I would have had to put money on, I imagine it would have been a unit, and it being a program and more so a brain dance was a bit of a surprise when I saw it. I'm not going to lie. But it is a welcome one because this is only the seventh brain dance we have revealed so far. There definitely should be a lot more, especially in blue. I think there's only one revealed in blue. I'm not 100% sure on that, and I'm just going to check right now. Yeah, just Chrome Reverie. There should be, I forget, at least two more, I want to say, or at least just programs in blue, at least two or three more. But again, we'll know more as we chug along the time train, which is a crazy sentence to say. Well, not crazy, just I've never, I don't know. Things I say, sleep deprived and running my mouth, continue to amaze me. So I'm just going to get straight into the card now, finally. Sorry. This is the red version of a comeback card cycle that was noted in the Cyberdeck podcast that it is a cycle. There will be one kind of comeback card for each color that they, I mean, yeah, this is just why you should watch the podcast. They go over this in it as well. And there's just a lot more info that a lot of us aren't privy to yet that you can pick up on there. A little more clues, a couple more hints, just a lot of good stuff there. And then obviously they have a lot more info as to how this will actually play out in the um in the full set compared to just what we have right now. So I would advise listening to their advice way over mine, but you're here, I'm here, so we're going to talk about it. It clears out all but two blockers as well at base power, the two being Meredith Stout and then the Goro Takamura Legend, which I will continue to count in blockers because it is a possibility, no matter how small, that it'll be there as well. Of course, that doesn't really count for gear, so can't count on that 100%, especially because this defeats a rival unit with power 4 or less, not cost 4 or less. This is a 3 cost program with 3 red ram. It is a brain dance for the tag, and its text is defeat a rival unit with power 4 or less. You may defeat 2 instead if a rival controls at least 2 gigs more than you. So as you can see there, self-evidently a comeback card, as I talked about a little before. And yeah, I mean, I really just talked about it before actually reading the card, which I don't normally do, but on the fly, mouse moving fast, just going with it. So I think this is going to be a good card. Should be a bit better later as well when your opponent has a kind of bigger board. It is very good against blockers, leaning even just kind of more into that comeback nature of it. Because, like I said, takes out all but 2 blockers. So it'll be very nice if you're running behind and you have some units out to be able to help you get a couple waves through. And then if this is in like your starting hand, it is also just sellable if you really need it to be. Or it could just be an early removal spell if you're going for like a little more control. Just good card in general, at least in my opinion. Another brain dance in the books. And that is my thoughts on the card. Now we go from a brain dance onto the brain dance maestro, Judy Alvarez, who was just revealed earlier today. Finally, we see the card that Kawa has been raving about for probably months now, I think. Um, yeah, at least over a month from when he first mentioned this card. She cannot go solo, so there is all but the 1 cost to flip her. She provides the 2 blue ram as is the normal, and her tags are Ganger, Mox, and Techie. Her ability is, or I guess passive ability, is when you. Oh my goodness, jeez. When you play a Brain Dance program, give a friendly unit +1 power this turn, and then you can spend her to trash the top card of your deck. If it's a program, you may add it to your hand. So this is just another instance of blue kind of getting the ability to get through the top card of your deck. There are only 2 other cards that have a similar, well, technically 3, if you want to count Bootleg Black Sapphire Show, which I guess, yeah, you probably should. So it's just another blue card in the books, along with Sasha Yakovleva on the attack, revealing the top card of your deck and then adding it to your hand. And then Misty as well, where at the end of your turn, you can choose a card type, then reveal the top card of your deck. If it's the chosen type, add to your hand and Ready and Eddie. So just a little bit more kind of draw for blue. A lot more ways to get a lot more cards, either in your hand or in the yard, which just seems to be a bit of a blue sub theme. Also, kind of pairs well with red, which seems to be the most about, or the most kind of reanimation, at least not with programs, because that still leads towards blue, but just more in general. I mean, obviously with units, yellow has their stuff going on with gear as well, kind of leaning into their separate pools of the color tree or color pie if you prefer that. There are currently 7 brain dances revealed. Definitely should be more. So I don't think you should be in too much of a short supply when it comes to kind of getting that effectiveness out of her passive ability. And yeah, it's good for mill as well if you want to kind of have that subtype in there. Reliably able to just spend her, and then maybe you're not running as many programs, or if you need something to sell, it's just a very good way to get through your deck. And then the +1 power isn't exactly too big, but it can definitely add up over time. And yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a good legend. Definitely feeds into a spell slinger subtype. Pairs well with Alt Cunningham as well. So just a little bit more synergy between blue as well. And yeah, not really too much more to say about that, aside from I think it'll be good. And yeah, that is mainly going to be it. So, I mean, if that's all you want to see, then that is what I got. Personally, going into some more personal notes now, I am not going to be attending Gen Con because mainly it was between Gen Con and Anime Expo, and Anime Expo was closer, it was cheaper for me, I had more friends going, and overall it was just kind of easier, especially because I'm on the West Coast in California. So, I mean, I could literally just drive there, and then I knew the city, I know kind of the surrounding area. So it's just a lot easier than either flying out or driving out to Indianapolis, and just all that comes with that. So, really between that. And then I will also be in Sequoia over the Gen Con weekend. Had a planned family trip there. So that should be pretty fun. Gonna have to wait to see a lot of the updates until I come back because there shouldn't be too much internet up there. But I hope that if you are going, that you have a lovely time and experience, and that, yeah, just you have a great time with the game, with the tunes, with the team, just in general. A little more is that I just recently watched Obsession, and that movie was absolutely freaky. Um, I am not particularly built for horror, so I'll admit I did have to pause it a couple times and just kind of decompress. But if you love horror, it is a really good horror movie. I know that's what pretty much everyone else has said, and if you were gonna see it, you probably have by now. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw my piece in there. And that I also finished reading 1984 recently. It wasn't as good as I thought it was. It was still good, but it was just a bit tiny bit of a slog to read through personally. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It is a classic, pretty much. It's George Orwell. Um, Good book, but yeah, gonna be reading Madness now. Actually, though, the Rebecca and Plar kind of story as the prequel to Edge Runners, so that should be pretty fun. Got a little bit more reading material as well. I picked up No Doubt, which is a Cyberpunk 2077 book, or just Cyberpunk book in general. So that should keep my free time occupied while up at Sequoia. And yeah, I mean, that's really it, to be honest. That's what's been going on recently. So, yeah, I'm just going to edit here. Thank you for watching this video and sitting through my waffling session. Will it continue? Yes. This is just kind of the style of video I like to make. Obviously, it's easier as well, which helps as well with the turnaround time. But I just like to be real. I like to just be me and this type of stuff, sharing my love and my passion of this game with you guys. And, if I kind of mess up my words, get my tongue twisted, then it's laughs for me and hopefully for you as well. So, yeah, I just like the style of recording and making videos. So, I'm going to continue to do so. And if you watch, you watch. If not, I don't care, man. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. I should have a little bit more for you later on in this week with that one future dev blog that I mentioned earlier. And then obviously the Gen Con video should be a longer and more exciting one. Well, maybe not. No, yeah, probably a bit more exciting. A lot more reveals. Hopefully, some very good ones. So, looking forward to that. And yeah, for probably, I think this is the third time I've said this, but thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and hopefully, I will see you in the next one. Till then, peace out, chooms. Ciao.